We've seen throughout this pandemic, obviously the virus adapts, and we've seen new variants come into play. We have the 2 new vaccines that are coming into
Yep.
the vaccination centers, but there's already a fatigue that we're seeing from the population, particularly among younger people. As we move even more forward, how to combat that fatigue?
That's a good point. And one thing that we need to explain better, and I hope we can do that over the next few months. But if I do a very quick calculation, and I like statistics, but say we have roughly 6 million people that have been vaccinated, just a bit over 6 million. And if we were to look at it on an annual basis, it means that we should vaccinate about 100,000 per week, right? 52 weeks, just a bit more. But what we need to do right now is to adjust this 100,000 more if we want to squeeze the period. Instead of being over a year, if we want to do it over 6 months, then it's twice that amount, right? It's simple. It's 200,000 per week. So I think the clear message now, and this is what we discussed with the expert last night, is the chances or the difference with the previous waves is now we have a good, can I say, a good backup of vaccination. And we have a good backup of people that have been caught with COVID. So are we able now to extend the vaccination on a regular basis as opposed to the big steps that we did in wave 2, wave 3, wave 4? Now we can maybe have more of a constant vaccination. My number in my mind is roughly 200,000 per week. We're a bit below that right now. We did it in some part of the summer, but to be able that, because each month that person, there's a number of people that are due for their dose. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So instead of having big peaks of vaccination, we can have regular vaccination. And that's the reason we're saying right now, we're doing this fall wave of vaccinated people before Christmas. And the number I have in mind is just a bit over 200,000. Yesterday, because people knew that we were talking today, and because also the reason that the news was that the new Pfizer will be available next week. The good news is we had registration of over 30,000 appointments yesterday. 30,000 for one day, that would be close to my 200,000 per week. That's very good news. So I think there is a change in mindset the way we look at vaccination. Instead of having big peaks like that, we would like to do it more on a regular basis to accommodate people either after their 5 months or either after their 3 months. I don't know if I'm being clear on that,
Yeah.
but that's a big change.
It's just to follow up on what my colleague was saying and about the sort of the psychology, though, to get these young people to come out and get vaccinated. Like you were saying, that the Pfizer vaccine to attack the subvariants of Omicron is going to be available next week, but the Moderna one has already been available for quite some time, and yet we're still not seeing those big numbers. So why do you think, aside from you said those appointments were made on Click Santé, why do you think it'll really change, and why do you expect it to continue in the weeks ahead?
There is not one reason. I think it's a combination. I think the fact that normal people that have been very satisfied with Pfizer, they were maybe waiting for Pfizer to come. The fact that I said there's 2 rules, the rules of 5 months, the rule of 3 months. Those people are now generating new interest. So I think when you combine that, the fact also that we were in the summer, we were inside, you feel that maybe that was feel less obligated to go to get your booster shot. Now, I look outside, it's a bit colder this week than it was a few weeks ago. So for all those reasons, I think that, and that's the reason I will follow that very closely. But and we will adjust also our communication to make sure that we look at the different data on ages. Why this group of age is less. So a combination of all those reasons. I think if we monitor that properly, we will be in that range that I'm talking about.
Is there also a concern, or do you have a concern that among some of the young, healthy adults who may have had their 2 vaccines plus a booster may be hesitant to get a 4th dose or a second booster if they look at the numbers and they see, well, those who are getting sick are the elderly, we're having to be hospitalized, the younger people aren't getting as sick. I've already had 3 boosters. I'm not going back for a 4th.
Well, I had many people in my close environment, and I'm sure everyone here in this room and that are listening to us today feel that they said, well, I thought I was okay, but I should have had my booster shot. And I'm just saying that I think we have so many experts that are saying after 5 or 6 months, you need that booster shot. It might be even after you have received 4 doses. It's not the number of doses, it's the delay between the time you had it. So I think that we need to explain that better.